Hello, Bartek from Road Racing here. I'm welcoming you from Strzegomiani, from under Zomb Huzara, specifically from the descent of that very peak near Sobotka, which is the Lower Silesian capital of road cycling. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. It's a huge motivation for me, and if you hit that subscribe button, you'll stay up to date with all the content on the great Road-Racing.pl channel. The reason we're here today is to talk about wheels, specifically the Evanlite New Disc 45. I've ridden several Evanlite models before. I've been on the New Disc 38s, the Champion 45s, and the New Disc 50s. This is another one of their models, and I believe that this particular model could indeed have quite a broad and extensive range of applications suitable for various uses. These wheels are quite versatile, so let's talk about the facts themselves. 1,450 grams is the exact weight of these wheels, without tires, naturally. They're equipped with tubeless tires, the Continental Grand Prix 5000S, which are recognized as some of the fastest tires worldwide for mass start competitive events. And well, 24 spokes on both the front and the rear. The wheels are meticulously built on DT 350 straight pull hubs, and crucially, they've incorporated D-Lite spokes from the renowned Belgian brand Sapim. Well, regarding aerodynamics, it's common knowledge that riding on, say, 60mm wheels would always be ideal. However, offering such advice to amateur cyclists could genuinely result in quite disastrous consequences. Wheels with such a deep section rim are, at certain times, simply unsafe and pose a significant risk. And that needs to be said plainly. The danger lies in how these wheels react to crosswinds. And naturally, the wheel most susceptible to this kind of issue is the front wheel, because it's the front wheel that can swerve and cause problems. Generally speaking, cyclists rarely ever experience discomfort in the rear wheel. That practically never happens. And while a 60mm wheel is incredibly fast, 50 and 45mm represent the true golden mean. I would say that wheels within these specific values are much easier to control, allowing for a far greater sense of mastery. Especially here, with these Evanlite wheels, we have more of a U-shaped profile, which creates a much gentler transition when it comes to managing side wind flow. And with this particular rim depth, riding on these specific wheels is simply much safer. So why is that so important? Let's say you have those 60mm wheels. On flats where you feel assured, you go full throttle. Uphill you manage somehow, but downhill you constantly release the crank because you're troubled by such movements. And honestly, I've already mentioned this many times in other videos about wheels, but it's always the same scenario. You're not utilizing the full capabilities of those wheels all the time. However, with the 45mm wheels, it's undeniably safe. They truly provide a very secure ride, especially if, well, in my situation, it's definitely true because I weigh quite a bit. But generally, even a lighter cyclist will feel completely secure with these wheels. Now, regarding the very aerodynamics of these wheels themselves, they feature an inner width of 21mm, ensuring that a 25mm tire sits perfectly and flawlessly nestled right within them. Regarding the wheel's aerodynamics, we have an ideal configuration here. What exactly does that mean? It means the wheel rim is slightly wider than the tire's resting position, how it's actually seated. The airflow stream coming from the front attaches to the rim, then flows off it, and then moves on to this area. So this particular edge becomes critically important here, and the tire is neatly tucked away behind the rim. And this presents an absolutely ideal situation concerning both aerodynamics and the smooth aerodynamic airflow around the wheels. In my opinion, for the Evanlite New Disc 45 wheels, a 25mm tire is absolutely ideal. A 28 would be quite good, however, a 30 would probably be a bit excessive, perhaps even an overstatement. These aren't exceptionally wide rims. This rim measures 28.5mm at its widest point, which is a width quite comparable to, for instance, the Dura Ace 50s. So this is not the widest rim that Evanlite offers in its product line. The New Disc 50 wheels have slightly wider rims, and because of this, I would strongly advise against using 30mm tires. This is especially true concerning aerodynamics and achieving a proper, well-seated fit on the rim. For me, the sweet spot for these wheels is a 25 and a 28. Of course, with 28s, you can lower the pressure a little bit. And here's another important point regarding the tires themselves, their pressure and rolling resistance. The story that a wider tire has lower rolling resistance than a narrower one is only true under one condition, that we are talking about the same pressure. If you lower the pressure in a wider tire, the resistance will actually increase. But that's just a side note. I also want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. I just recently crossed the mark of 13,000 subscriptions. I'm extremely happy about that. Thank you all, because I primarily create these videos for you, the Road Racing channel audience. And now let us proceed further with the discussion regarding these wheels. Well, I've had the opportunity to use Sapim D-Lite spokes on a variety of different wheels. Generally, these are round spokes with a reduced cross-section in the middle. Well, they might not be aero spokes, but as I've mentioned to you before, Sapim once conducted comprehensive tests comparing standard round spokes to the advanced C-X-ray spokes. The results from these detailed tests showed that when traveling at a consistent speed of 40 kilometers per hour over a 40-kilometer distance, the performance difference observed in that specific test in the time it took to complete the route was 10 seconds. That's really not much, and those were under specific controlled conditions. However, under altered conditions, that particular outcome could also undergo a change. However, if you're looking to use different spokes for these wheels, then perhaps the DT Aero Comp could be a good suggestion. This would help the wheels maintain their excellent stiffness and responsiveness, so that type of spoke might be a strong recommendation. I'd really recommend spokes for these wheels. The wheel set weighs 1,450 grams, with hubs that could frankly be lighter than the current ones. We could easily install lighter hub models than the 350S on these, and that makes the overall weight very attractive. What benefits does this offer? It translates to excellent acceleration, particularly for segment starts or rapid increases in speed when exiting a turn. And all of that can be accomplished very efficiently with this specific wheel set. 24 spokes in the rear wheel don't make the wheel feel particularly soft. No. This wheel doesn't feel especially soft or anything like that. No, it is simply stiff and very responsive, exactly as it ought to be. I believe the spokes utilized for this specific application significantly contribute to that as well. Yes, the 45s will indeed be an excellent choice for a cyclist. On the one hand, they offer that dynamic acceleration when you're riding, which is crucial. And then, on descents, if you ease off the cranks, the bike maintains much greater stability. It's quite characteristic that when you're descending and actively pedaling, the bike always feels much more stable, which is a significant advantage. Problems usually appear the moment you stop turning the crank. So please let us know in the comments below what your personal experiences are with this specific phenomenon and how it presents itself to you. I frequently encountered such experiences with wheels, particularly those featuring a V-shape, like the 50mm rims found on models such as the Campagnolo Bora 1 or Fulcrum Speed Racing series. Yes, that was definitely not pleasant. I distinctly noticed back then that all the gains you achieve on a flat section or even a gentle uphill ride are completely lost the moment you stop pedaling your crank and cautiously ride when those strong side wind gusts really begin to bother you and hinder your progress. Regarding the visual aspect, the particular set I received for testing came equipped with sleek black decals. It truly looks quite elegant, generally suiting any bicycle, but honestly, I personally associate Evanlite with more pronounced and noticeable branding. Well, it's really a matter of taste. What will you find more appealing? Let me know if you prefer decals that are easily noticeable, or if you prefer them designed and executed in a more understated style, just like these here. Regarding the sheer quality of Evanlite wheels, in my opinion, that stands out as this company's most significant asset. That advantage is definitely the team that diligently works on and builds these wheels. The wind really starts to become a significant nuisance, you see. Regarding the visual aspect, well, what we have here, the test unit I received has black decals. It looks quite elegant and generally fits any bicycle, but I'll be honest, I associate Evanlite with more prominent inscriptions. And well, that's truly a matter of taste. What do you guys think will appeal to you more? Let me know if you prefer to have decals that are more visible or ones that are, as they are here, in a more subdued way. They're designed and executed. When it comes to the actual quality of Evanlite, that, in my opinion, is the biggest plus for this company's wheels. That advantage lies with the team that works on and builds these wheels. This process is incredibly consistent. While heading here for this video, it occurred to me that Evanlite approaches certain aspects similarly to Power 2 Max, where Łukasz and I had been. Essentially, they develop their own manufacturing tools for their products. Yeah, some of these tools are custom made, like this specific spoke tensioning device. If it's ever missing from the wheel production process, we invariably end up with terrible wheels that quickly lose their trueness and develop wobbles after only a brief period of riding. So, the exceptional quality provided by Evanlite, in my estimation, arises from the meticulous manner in which their team operates, the remarkable consistency of their execution, and their comprehensive access to all essential tools and a superbly outfitted workshop. This all matters, directly impacting how you use these wheels. No, it's not a secret, and I'm not hiding it from you, that road racing cyclists typically possess 7 complete sets of Evanlite wheels for their racing season. Throughout the entire season, among guys who are putting down serious power, there wasn't a single case where someone had to send their wheels back for an adjustment. Well, that speaks volumes about the Evanlite wheels themselves. Another really great thing about them is the comprehensive warranty provided by Evanlite. Check out the details of this warranty on the Evanlite website. For someone who invests a significant amount of money in wheels, this is an incredibly positive and worthwhile aspect. And to wrap up, I've recently recorded quite a few videos where I describe bicycles equipped with very basic box section aluminum wheels. And wheels, especially ones like these Evanlite models, serve as an excellent enhancement for those bicycle projects, fundamentally transforming the entire riding experience. And dependable DT Swiss hubs, in my estimation, are always a fantastic feature, as their maintenance is incredibly straightforward. These hubs have been meticulously designed and refined over many years, and their engagement system stands as one of the most reliable available on the market. So that's everything from me on the subject of the Evanlite New Disc 45 wheels. Thank you. If you watched this video to the end, thank you even more. I recommend subscribing to the channel. Take care. Greetings from Sobotka. Cheers. What kind of wheel test would this be if we didn't test how the free hub works? So just for you, here are a few spins of the DT Swiss 350 hub featuring its 36 points of engagement. The characteristic engaging sound of a DT free hub.